So Gas has awakened as the universe's mightiest mortal and begins by freezing both Saiyans to a standstill. While that's happening, Granola darts for Elec, hoping to satisfy his revenge. However, Gas teleports his brother to safety, leaving the Cerulean no choice but to end his mother's murderer from long range. I'm speechless with how gory this next part goes. Watch this. Gas breaks both of Granola's arms with a kick, uses the lasers to shoot his eyes out, and was pleased with only getting assist credit because Vegeta hands the victim over to Elec, who thanks him for all those bounties he completed before emptying the clip with the same pistol used to kill his mother. Oh my lord, if we do see this animated in 2077, they better not try censor any of this. I guess we can now call Elec a certified serial killer, right?
That shit is so corny! That shit is so corny, bro! It's so corny! It's so fucking corny, bro!
Anywho, as Goku remains stuck in place, Vegeta donates the last of his energy to help the Saiyan move again, which just makes me sad how my glorious prince has been demoted to key donor. And once that happens, Goku charges in for Gas, knocking him to the ground. The Saiyan initially seethes in rage before keeping composure, telling Vegeta to just leave the planet already. So Gas remarks how Goku is still keeping calm even after Granola's death, where he replies anger gets in the way of a special move. However, since the Saiyans know their plan, Elec states they all have to die, and this begins with Gas making multiple spike traps tailored for Goku. Thankfully, he's able to grab hold of one of them, smashing it into the other traps, but now must perform Roblox obby parkour to evade the incoming Cerulean rubble. Suddenly, Gas levitates a train right into Goku, and brother, look how helpless he looks on the front windshield. You are not Spider-Man, there's no way you're stopping it. Vegeta hops on board, thanking him for not dying so he could test his abilities, and encourages Goku to commence boxing as the son of Bardock. The Saiyan then lets his bloodline down with two easily telegraphed moves, allowing for Gas to counter with extreme force, and grabs his neck, puzzled where all that fire's gone. That's when Goku gets hit with a second. For Gas to continue the conversation, mentioning the Saiyan lacks the resolve his father had during battle, and even goes to genuinely ask if Goku's even the son of Bardock. Goku reveals how he lost all those memories of his father and the Saiyans when he hit his head, which makes it all too clear for Gas, who can never lose to someone that cannot comprehend the origin. Goku's trained and takes a last minute detour straight into the lagoon, where Gas creates entire whirlpool to force choke the life out the Saiyan, mocking his race for their anatomy. However, ending him like this would not satisfy Vegeta, deciding to instead charge up and hit a hole-in-one with a ki blast, releasing an entire tsunami on his siblings. Goku struggling for his life to endure Gas's attacks, but when he looks up, Vegeta's staring somewhere else, now fixated on Minato, trying his hardest to heal his friend. Upon this realization, Gas asserts the white mage of all people must be the first to go, racing towards them at light speed, so Goku intercepts Vegeta in time with a grab, teleporting him away from Minato and to Jarko, who's on a nearby planet. The Saiyan's certain only he had the capability to travel this far with instant transmission due to his mastery of the move with boatloads of experience, and vanishes backwards to parry Vegeta's kick, questioning if he can really follow him wherever he goes. In one of the coolest scenes, Goku and Gas proceed to travel across the universe, warping to different planets, but the latter's inexperience with the ability is highlighted when he lacks the spatial awareness to avoid being dropped in mud by Monaka. Goku offers to wait for the heater to go clean up, but he did not care about hygiene whatsoever, rushing right for the Saiyan. We then arrive at Galactic HQ, where Gas reveals his freakiness, cause no joke, this guy starts guzzling on the Galactic King's bathwater. Afterwards, the pair continue their scrap at the Galactic prison, where a couple inmates from Sagambo's crew recognize Gas, ready to lend a hand if they're broken free. Vegeta asserts their aid is unneeded, so Yumba brings up the time that he pissed himself when they first met, to which Gas denies. Goku even joins in on the banter, triggering Vegeta even further, but reaches his breaking point when the inmate mentions the wet stain they saw, shrieking it was only a few drops cause he was holding it for so long. Oh lord, why is Gas in denial? That's literally the definition of wetting yourself. Back on Serial, Oil sets up a UAV, noticing the pair are further away from the prison, with Goku wondering why Vegeta does everything his brother says when he could make his own choices. Gas responds, stating he seeks power for Elec alone to make Vegeta's the universe's supreme, highlighting how he owes his brother a lot for making him the strongest. The Saiyan commends the respect he has for Elec, but outright plays devil's advocate, pondering how far can Gas really trust him, where he mentions the time Raditz nearly killed him all those years ago, advising Gas to watch his back. A few seconds pass where the Saiyans reached Iriko's ship, accepting he can't play defense much longer, until he abruptly senses a certain key to lock onto belonging to Whis, currently on holiday. Gas is left wondering who that person is, so Goku mentions he's his master, who happens to be an angel, before asking Whis to keep Vegeta company. The Saiyan gives Gas his farewells and vanishes to every planet he visited in reverse order to eventually return to Serial, stopping Maki and Doyle from getting their grubby hands on Minato. Vegeta's shocked by this big brain move as Whis informs how badly he got cooked because he can't walk there directly, but gives Gas the directions to Serial upon request prior to blasting off to space for 20 minutes to reach his destination. Incredibly, when Whis comments on Gas's hastiness, the Oracle Fish has no clue who that was, confusing their angel since Vegeta's the prophesized strongest in Universe 7. Anywho, Oatmeal tells everyone to hop in the car to get to the safety of Minato's house, and mid-journey Goku gets a call from Whis, who planted the device on him earlier. The angel relays the time remaining until Gas arrives, and the Saiyan seeks help on how to use Ultra Instinct better, to which Whis reminds him of the advice he gave at the start of the arc. Discover his own version of the technique as they're fundamentally different life forms. The angel's final tip is to understand what he really is deep down before reaching Minato's place, where the Namekian hands Goku his father's scouter, which has saved audio of the fight between Bardock and Gas. Oatmeal aids in playing the audio on his speakers, and everyone's able to hear Bardock's voice telling Minato to stay alive. Finally, after so long, when Goku hears those words, he's reminded of the last message given by his father before departing to Earth, which triggers the memories of his parents to resurface. We swiftly go back to 40 years ago, where Bardock is duking it with Gas, and the latter believes his gang were wrong to think only low-class warriors were sent here to conquer. Minato demands the Saiyan to not risk his life for him and leave already. However, Gas mentions there's no point of fleeing as the Saiyans aren't fated to last much longer anyway. Fed up with his waffling, Bardock lobs an energy ball which Vegeta flips over, striking his mace into the Saiyan's block. Bardock repels him away, charging to begin his counterattack, but Gas has lost his patience, unleashing an ounce of his inner nature to finish this fight quickly. This boost was enough to overpower the Saiyan, launching him into a cliff, and in the background, Torombo is summoned by the Namekian, who wishes for Bardock to be sent back to planet Vegeta. The dragon notifies the Saiyan of the wish Minato made, confusing him of the voice he's heard, leading Gas to believe Bardock had went schizo until he lays eyes on a distant Torombo for himself. The Namekian's informed of the Saiyan's decision to refuse the wish, exclaiming their race would rather die than run from the enemy. Let's pretend Vegeta did not just do the opposite back in the Saiyan saga, okay? Bardock strikes Vegeta's guard prior to being sent flying, and now Minato is speaking telepathically, wanting the Saiyan to live as his kindness shown to him can be used to save someone else one day. With him refusing to leave, the Namekian wonders if there's any other wish he could make, so the Saiyan desires for both his sons to end up thriving. I hate how vague this wish is. Does it mean Goku and Raditz were protected until their adulthood or what? Anyway, the other heaters see the Dragon Ball split up, prompting Elec to go check it out, and meanwhile, Bardock's getting shot down to Kingdom Come, where Gas grabs his tail, pulling it so hard that it snaps right off, meaning no more Great Ape. As Vegeta's about to pierce him with a spear, Minato takes the full brunt of the attack, enraging Gas so much that he completely lets his inner nature loose. He swats the pair to the side, knocking the Namekian unconscious, and seizes Bardock's neck, exclaiming that everyone he tried to protect will soon perish. The Saiyan creates an explosion to distance himself from the enemy, and suddenly he's doing much better now, initiating a juicy combo. Gas is bewildered at the Saiyan's resolve, questioning if he's doing this for the atonement of his race, to which Bardock says no. Vegeta then assumes it must be revenge for Muesli's death, but is incorrect again. That's when the Saiyan reveals his true reason for fighting, nothing other than the sheer desire to win, plunging his fist square into Vegeta's sternum. cannon. And now that he surpassed his limits, Bardock fires a beam at gas to finally secure victory. There's no way his thought process was simply nah, I'd win. Anywho, Elec notes they'll have to double down on training whilst Bardock is still alive, confused on his loyalty to Frieza. Vegeta mentions when it comes down to business there's only one hand you show, and chuckles how clueless Bardock is about the Emperor's true intentions, emphasizing while the Saiyans playing catch up, don't be surprised if a meteor drops on his head. Elec then tries to kill the Saiyan, unable to hit his shots, but is forced to let him live as Frieza's ship has arrived. Minato limps towards Bardock to fully heal him, declaring he actually won, and we jump to the present where the audio ends there. Thanks to this, Goku remembers everything as a baby, from when Bardock returned from cereal to when he was put in his space pod escaping the destruction of planet Vegeta. Goku now comprehends what Saiyan pride's about, realizing he had lost faith in his power, and Vegeta reignites it as well, rather than burdening himself with the sins of his race. However, the prince comments how pampered Goku was from the wish, so the same brings up how spoiled Bullet is, triggering Vegeta. Finally, Minato explains that a people's pride is all about accepting your nature and sticking to your convictions, which is universal for any race out there, and makes new clothes for the Saiyans resembling Bardock's armor, to which the pair beg for their original ones back.